Beautiful day out today. Let's do a complete walk around of the camper build out. So this is a Ford F150 XLT. So this is my everyday driver. I did modify the suspension and the tires a little bit, so you can see the tires are Falcon Peaks. Where's the number here? Falcon Peaks, where is it at? Oh, right there. 295/70 R17. So they're slightly, so they're around 34 and a half inches or something like that. I replaced the OEM tires with these. I did have to remove the back mud flaps because they did kind of hit those as you turned. And then when I had them installed, I did have the front crash bars kind of modified, so you can see that they kind of cut them and then squish them in so that I had more clearance there. They were rubbing a little bit. I didn't get the truck raised, and so I think if it was raised a little bit, I would have the clearance automatically. So the suspension I did improve a little bit. I added Fox 2.5 coilovers in the front and the Fox 2.5 in the back also. Or these Fox 2.5 coilover, so the angles aren't that far different from the OEM. So I kept the OEM swing arms. Those have been working just fine for me. So that's the front. The back side has, again, it's a Fox 2.5. Let's see if I can get you in here. So that's the Fox 2.5 rear suspension. To the springs, I included an add-a-leaf kit because I have a little bit of extra weight in here. At some point, I might redo this and get devers. You can see my springs are pretty much flat right now. I haven't had any problems driving around with this weight, and I think at some point, though, I just may go ahead and get the dever upgrade. I did add a, you can see it right there. It's kind of a weird angle, but there is a block in there. It's a 2.5 inch block just to kind of level everything out. So after the front got its additional height from the coilovers, that block and that add-a-leaf spring kind of gave me some positive, angle. So it wasn't sagging in the rear, but then with all the additional weight for the camper that I added, it kind of leveled everything back out. So that's the suspension and the tire upgrades. So the camper itself is a DIY cab and camper. Got lots of videos building out all the different parts of that. On the top you can see that I have a solar panel. But let's pretend we're at camp and let's go ahead and raise this tent and get set up for So talk about this load out here in just a little bit, but for now let's go ahead and do what we have to get the tent raised up. Ford's handy tailgate steps there. To raise the tent, it has these latches on the side. Just pull them off. And I put this back in just so I don't lose it. There we go. So there's one side loose up. There's the other side. And then we'll just push this back down so we can kind of get up in here and raise the tent up. It is a little bit of a push to raise up initially because there's a lot of suction because the top is sealed. And once this suction kind of evens out, then those bars then the struts kind of take over and kind of push it up. There's that. Raise this. So open up all the doors here, the wind doors. Get a better view of the solar panel now. So have a video on how to create those mounts, mount them to the 80/20 and install the solar panel. So that's the tent. It does have a little bit of a rain skirt around the side of it. So normally, let's take this rain skirt. So I'm gonna set you here. Looks like maybe you can see, but this is the rain skirt. And all of this is handmade, right? So I sewed the tent fabric, everything. So normally I would just take this rain skirt and hold it down with the bungee all the way around the edge. Pull that out. The same thing on the other side here. Ooh, how you doing? Are you okay? Yeah, that was a pretty hard fall. All right, I think you're gonna live though. Let's see what we got here. So anyways, the rain skirt comes down. That way any rain that happens, it runs down the 80/20 and not in there. Same thing on this side. Just pull the skirt down. And that bungee kind of keeps it all in place. So far, I haven't had any leaks. That's the tent fully deployed, just like that. So next thing, let's deploy the camp awning. And to get that out, I'm gonna go ahead and open up all the wind doors. So this box is a security box, has everything that we'd go on the trip with that we didn't want prying eyes to see. Obviously, we can also pack additional stuff up on the top. So if we're going to be with the truck a lot, we will have things up there. Otherwise, like if we just go on weekend trips, we might slide luggage under here so that people can't see the luggage. So anyways, at this point, I'll set you here so you can see the portal and pull the portal off. Just comes off, snug fit in there. Get it out. At the very bottom here, you can see the where the legs go. So there's 4 of these legs. These are just PVC pipes, by the way, with PVC holders there. And my other legs, I think I jammed them way back there. All right, so the legs are together. I don't know where we're gonna put the kitchen for now, but we'll just set it off to the side so it's kind of out of the way. And there's that. So from being the port to kind of our kitchen, obviously this isn't very level, but that's where that griddle or any kind of camp cooking can go, or we could use that for other things too. So let's look at the top now. The awning, keep it in a bag, it's in here. I don't think I need any of those stakes. I think everything's in there. So we'll just pull that out for now. Love the deck system. So push that away. I'm gonna pull out one of these things just because I like to have that thing down to protect the tailgate. And also if I'm crawling up there, it just saves your knees. Okay, let's start working on this awning. So here's the awning. Here's the 2 poles. We're going to use these 2 poles for the awning here in a bit. But let's go ahead and pull the awning out of the bag so you can see what's in there. This is just, I got this off of Amazon. It's a Kalinko hammocks awning. You can see that? Kalinko hammocks awning. It's 3 meters by 4.5 meters, and I forgot what that is in feet. But I think it's like the big distance is a little over 10 feet, I thought, if I recall. So the actual fabric itself, and then it has a little pouch for all your stakes. So I have the stakes we're going to use. We're going to take the pouch, stick it back up in there for now. And these I kind of pre-staged. So they're kind of knotted back together so you can just pull them all out. And There's 2 in the front, 2 on the side. So I'm just going to go ahead and position everything where the stuff's going to go. So I know I'm going to have a stake kind of over there somewhere. I'm going to have a stake here, out here somewhere. I'm going to have 2 tie downs and 2 stakes, and over here my last 2 tie downs and my last 2 stakes. I know also in those areas out there the poles are going to go, so just kind of position the poles where I think they're going to be, like that. And now you can set this camp awning up. The awning connects to the camper through these little red clips, carabiner clips, and I know that they are on the camper side. So I'm going to go ahead and just unfold this, take my red clips, see if I can get you here. My red clips go already. There's 1. Here's the other one. And I positioned these so that this awning is already kind of taut right there. So it's kind of tight around there. Now at this point, could open up this window again. I'm going to come out here, put you on the camp table, the camp kitchen. I think you'll be able to see everything from here. So we'll do this far. Pole. So I have the pole, and then again I pre-positioned, or I pre-staged these so I can take that piece of plastic and just pull them out, and then they're ready to use. Same thing here. I should be able to take that, give it a little tug. This one wants to be difficult. There it is. And this one's ready to use also. So get the pole. Get my stakes in my hands. I don't know how tall it's going to be yet. That just depends on the terrain. But go ahead and get the tie downs on there. Get one of them kind of out where I think it's going to be. Now just got to keep these kind of perpendicular to each other. That makes them strong. So here's one. The ground's nice and soft. We just got a whole bunch of rain, so that's working in my favor today. No hammer needed. So that's one side. Do the same thing with the other side. Get everything in my hands. I don't know if you can see the angle. Pull out the tie downs. All right, so I got the tie downs undone. I got my stake, my pole ready. It is kind of nice to have everything in your hand when you're ready to go, because then it can go quicker. Put the pole on, tie downs on. Not sure how much is in frame here. Sorry about that. I will come back through and for sure show you where we land. All right, I think that's a better angle. Sorry about that last one, but we'll get you through the rest of this. So these aren't the right height yet, so I can still raise them up. We have another layer here. Push it up a little higher. And we'll try to make them so they're just the so I'm just using the tie downs and adjusting the tension so I can get everything tight like what I want it for. That's getting pretty close now. Okay. Then I have a couple of tie downs on the sides here, so we'll return you. We'll get this tie down here. Same thing. Pull the black plastic piece. This one doesn't really have a pole, but what we have is we got a clip here. So yellow clip. Put the tie down to the yellow clip. You can take this out a little ways. Stick it in the ground and then use the tie down just to tension it up. And we'll do the same thing on the other side over here. So, tie down. They're already kind of staged up, ready for us. Use my yellow clip, carabiner. Bring it out. And then tension it up if you need to. Okay, so that's that. Getting closer to being set up. Let's see where we're at here. I think you can see everything. All right, so anyways, next thing, I had a camp chair here. I'll pull out one camp chair. So we have the camp chair. Have another camp chair. All right, now that we got the tarp and everything set up, let's go ahead and figure out where that camp kitchen needs to go. So the griddle does create quite a bit of heat, so I don't really like to have it under the awning. In a pinch, I could probably go under the awning, and I think there's enough airflow that it's probably not going to be a big deal. But for today, anyways, we're just going to kind of move it off to the side over here. Got a little bit more level ground right here, I think. So we're going to put that right there for now. And the camp kitchen is back behind this other stuff that I normally don't carry with me, but for now we're just going to take this all out. We'll dump it up here on the top. There are a couple of rugs here. Kind of nice to be able to have a place to take your shoes off if you're gonna be going up into the camper. So put down a couple of rugs right at the base here, so that way you can take your shoes off, climb up in there, and it's not going to get your feet all wet. I'm going to stow the bag for the tarp just up here on the side. Start to pull out my camp kitchen. So it just slides out. It's on a big plastic. It's a 3x4 old dog kennel thing. And we'll bring this over here. I do have an extra pole, so if I do need to kind of push up the center, which sometimes I might, So I did take that extra pole. Anyways, you can see it in the middle now. Just gives us a little extra head height. I do use the bag for the tarp, just so that it doesn't really poke a hole in the tarp up there. So it gives it a little spot. It's just kind of sitting up there tension wise. We're okay. There's our camp kitchen. So at this point we could sit and relax, but let's continue our tour here. So a couple other features for the camper. Got water. We got I'm just gonna pull this out of the way so we can see what we're looking at. So water, normally I would put off to the side here, just like that, so I can get water whenever I want. The other thing I have is a bucket, and I'm not going to do this, but we can convert that bucket into a shitter. So I have the conversion kit where you can sit on top of it and do your duty and shovel if we need one. The other thing back here, so behind the security wall, I've got a sleeping bag. Normally I have that sleeping bag just go ahead and staged up there, but that's my winter bag. So it's kind of hot out right now. I don't need that much protection. So it's just kind of here in the bundle. I have refrigerator, keep everything cold. So it's a lot easier. I think it's a lot nicer than the cooler. You have ice, all the melting, the water, all of that stuff. So this is a lot better. That's what the solar charges. So it's that. So I can have my soda or my beer. On the other side, you can see the battery pack. So this is a 24 volt 100 ampere hour battery. It's in there and it's being charged by the solar panel, which is on the roof right now. Get you up there. So again, that's the solar panel up on the roof, you can see, and the cables just kind of come down through this port and they come to here, and then those cables then plug into that port right there, which is the port for that. This whole thing here is for me to plug into shore power, so I can also charge this battery pack with shore power. So I do, when I in my garage, if I leave my truck in the garage for a couple of days because I'm just working from home, then I have the option to plug that in so that as the battery just doesn't kind of drain away. So that's the battery box. Got the camp kitchen, we got the camp. Only thing we haven't done is kind of gone up and looked into the camper itself. So let's take a look up there. Oh, by the way, so one of the things behind the shovel kind of adds a little extra protection. The battery box does supply DC and AC power. I normally keep the inverter, it's a 3000 watt inverter. I keep it switched off in there. So that way the residual power loss from an inverter doesn't drain the battery faster than just, say, the fridge by itself. But I do have extension cords, so those plugs back there, that battery box is removable. I normally have it in my office sometimes, but that battery box I can remove out of here. And I have an extension cord, extensions, I guess, not cord, but anyways. So this 12 volt gizmo is plugged into the battery box. So there's an extension that runs back there and it's fused back there, but now I can get access to 12 volts power. And then underneath here, there is also a real extension cord that is for AC. So right now, like I said, the inverter is off. I keep it that way, but that's there. So always plug in, charging my mic. This is just a normal iPhone, and then that kind of protects that whole thing there. So up here, this is how you get into the tent area. So it's through these ports. So the port on this side, this slides open. All right, let's take a look at the tent. So the port, so I've already slid it open, but these slide. So this one on this side slides. and then we can get access to the tent area. And at night, you can slide this closed so the bugs can't get up in there. So if we go on up in there, we can see, I'll set you over here on the side here. All right, so if we come on up in here, now you can see where the wedge top is. And again, normally I stage my sleeping bag up in here. So you normally see it there. On this side, on your head side, there's a little shelf that you can put things in. So for example, I have this fan, little rechargeable fan that you can run if you want. And again, we have power right there. So it's right down below us, power. I can run those cables up here if I want. And then I can start to open this thing up so we can get some airflow. So these windows, just kind of drop them down like this. Normally I wouldn't open up this side right now because it's the sun side, and you get your inside here all hot. But for demo purposes, we are going to go ahead and drop all of them down. So I got the other side here now too. So you see how kind of open it is once you got the windows down. So from that side, from one side, you can see, you know, the big window on the side. You can see there, and there's my tent pole, the one in the middle. I don't quite have things tight enough, I think. Normally that stays a little better, but anyways, here's the tent from the inside. And again, that's the corner that in the past I have had bugs come through that corner. So I take my socks when I sleep at night and I stuff a sock over there and I stuff a sock over there just to prevent any bugs from coming in. I think it does allow for hot air to escape. So hot air rises, so any hot air comes in and it kind of chimneys out those two holes. So I haven't really covered them up, but it is at night. I do put a sock up in there. And again, it's a little bit dirty. I've been up here with shoes on, it looks like. But this is the inside of the camper. And again, at night, I would pull my feet up and I would slide this over to cover that port. So you're pretty much up here. Bugs can't get up in here from the port area. And then that's the only entrance that I've found where bugs can get in. So getting down, again, this is the top of the box. My feet are on right there. I got the knee pad with the deck system and then down to the tailgate. So you have to be a little agile with the box here to be able to come in and out of this thing, but it's not horrible. So you can get in and get out. Set you there while I get myself out of here. So normally I come down to this level, sit here, all right, and then put my butt on that pad next without trying to scrape my back up. Let's see if I can get you over here. I have no idea what you can see here. I think you're good. So I'm sitting on top of the box, Then I slide down to kind of the knee pad, and then from here I can get all the way out and sit on the tailgate. And again, having these things around, it's kind of nice on your knees. And then the Ford old man steps, and then we're back down here. So that's a complete tour of the F-150 Camper Build. Started off as a project probably a couple years ago, and just slowly, I built out the camper, had the cap first, just the bottom part, then I built the wedge top, and then I started adding pieces like I knew I always wanted the solar panels and the battery box, so I built that. So all the individual videos for all of those build outs, I'll list them in the description below. So if you have an F-150 or any kind of pickup truck and you're interested in kind of building your own camper, hopefully you can take the build series that I put together over the last couple of years and get some inspiration from them.